Welcome to the Change Mindset program. Today's session is going to be our growth mindset with special focus on the vision, the broader vision, and also understanding a little bit on our stakeholders. Without much ado, let's jump right into the story. Story again goes 1,000 years back. So we are back in a cool, calm, quiet, nice village. There is a guru. Our dear friend comes again and he is now walking around to go for his bath. Well, the guru doesn't have any place of his own, so he has to go for bath in a river or a lake nearby. So that's something, a part of his daily life. So he's going to walk around and go for his bath, do his prayers also, sometimes meditate there if he likes it, and then comes back. That's his lifestyle. And on the way towards his regular bath, every day he meets a farmer. This farmer has a piece of land right close to that river area. So every time this guru is walking by, the farmer comes out and meets him. Ideally, this land doesn't belong even to the farmer. He rents the land so he can make some living out of that on his own. And he pays the rent to the landlord. And those days, the rent was not money. So the dealings were not in money. So it was goods versus goods. So you pay in something and you get something else in return. So the way he paid the rent was to grow the crop, and part of the crop portion, he has to give it to the landlord. And that's his normal lifestyle. And he grows something called a jowar crop. Jowar crop is anything like a wheat, let's say, a form of that. And he grows that. He lives a simple life and he really looks forward every day to this vision of his guru walking around and goes and takes his blessing every day. The guru smiles and gives a blessing and goes to his work. This is how the daily routine has been going for a while. But one fine day, the guru gets curious and asks, I see you every day. Doesn't matter, where you are. You just come around the same time that I come and you take my blessings. Why do you have to do that every day? And he says, Guru, I love you so much. I believe and trust in you so much. And I think every day that I am looking at your face and coming and taking your blessings at your feet is an amazing day. And my whole day goes successfully. As a farmer, until now, I have never faced a crop failure. I have had only success. And I think it all goes to you. So I am taking your blessings every day. That is so nice of you, he says. And he asks him this question. So you trust me? Of course, I trust you fully. I trust you like anything. I trust you completely. So, meaning you will say whatever I ask you to do? Of course, sir. Of course, I will do it. So, the farmer now is curious what is going to come again from the guru, but he is also willing to do whatever the guru says. The guru says, can you show me the crops? I just want to see. Of course, please walk into my farmland and just take a look at the crops. And he looks at the crops. The crops are beginning to show what you call tender ears. That's the time when the crop is building up. Maybe we can say in a month we are ready for harvest. Yeah. So it's tender crop. It's so beautiful, lovely color. Yeah. It's so pretty. It looks like it's all coming out well. Yes, Guru. It's really good. All your blessings. Thank you. Okay. So you said you will do whatever I told you to do. Of course. Um, can you cut the crops? Yeah. What? What do you mean? Cut the crops. Cut the head of the crop, meaning up to the stalk. All of them? Yeah. Cut them. They are going to be harvested in 1 month. They will be ready. Yeah, I want you to cut. You just told me that you trust me fully. I want you to cut. And then he walks by to his daily work to go and take bath in the river. So he does that. And over here, there is this farmer who knows the crop very well, who knows everything about his lifestyle very well, his duties and responsibilities very well, who's now found with a challenge. He has to cut the crop that's going to be harvested in a month just because the person who he believes in, trusts in, wants him to do so. And he takes a decision to do and follow the Guru's commands. Let's take a pause and reflect on the thoughts going on in the mind of the farmer, the thoughts maybe why the Guru wanted him to do such a thing, and overall, what will be the next step? Can you also connect it to your own thoughts on your routine, your success, your overall goal that you are working for? How will your response be when someone asks you to shift away or move out of your routine or your predetermined goal? How is a question, very important. How will your reaction be? And why should you do that or should you not do that? Is something that I would want you to reflect on. So we now go back the storyline, go back to the storyline, and now look at the farmer's decision and action. We know his decision. He has decided to follow the words of his guru. He is going to cut the crop, but he does certain things. First of all, he goes back to his barn where he has the crop that has already been harvested from the last year. He takes out the portion that is to be given as rent to his landlord for this year, because he knows that if it's going to be cut off, nothing is going to remain. So he goes to the landlord and says, here you are, this is the rent for this year. And the landlord is surprised. Why are you giving it too soon? The harvest should happen possibly in a month, and maybe I was expecting that you will bring something to me next month. Why now? Why so early? And he explains completely, full transparency, that this is actually from his savings that he is giving it for the landlord, because the responsibility is that he is to be paid, and that he has decided to cut the crops now. What do you think the reaction will be? Obviously, he was really mad. The landlord said, why would someone do such a thing? And he politely said to the landlord that, as a farmer, I have taken the decision. And as a landlord, you are expecting something from me, which I cannot pay next month. So I have paid you an advance. So it's handled. The decision will stick. It will stay. He takes out a little bit to give away or to keep for as a reserve for his family. Wife, children are already, on the edge with anger because of his decision. There are other farmers also. There are lands in other left and right and other side. They are all curious what's going on here, because this is the most foolish thing a farmer can do. That you wait until almost around the corner the harvest is coming up and you'll have to cut it off. there are so many comments coming in, feedback coming in. You've gone mad. You are taking ideas and suggestions from somebody who has no idea of farming, so on and so forth. He listens to all. He replies to some of them. He decides not to reply to some of them. But his decision is final. He has decided to cut the crop according to the words of the Guru, and he goes ahead and starts cutting the crop off. By this time, the Guru has already taken his bath and maybe he has meditated near the river nicely for a while, and he comes back, walking back, and he sees this man. So all the frenzy, all the energy movement around this farmland, he looks at it and he says, "What have you done?" "But Guruji, you told me that the crop has to be cut, so I did it." "But I meant it jokingly. I never thought you will take it so seriously." We just make a stop here. To go back to our visions, our thought processes, our goals that we have discussed, reflected on, um, we can now reflect on the mindset of these people. Who are they? Stakeholders. So our goal to anything will definitely involve certain stakeholders. Some of them have very much involvement, reason for involvement, have something important to gain from our goal as well. Some of them are maybe onlookers, they're just commenting on us. So this is a combination, yes. So can we reflect on our situation in our own goals? How many of your stakeholders are very important to you in the manner that you are responsible to give them something or explain them something? And how many are there in the life that are possibly commenting on it, may have nothing to do? And what is your action response to each one of it when your goal cannot be reached or when your goal is disrupted for some reason? Maybe you can take up a personal situation also as an example to reflect on it. Now let's come back to this storyline again. Farmer is stern on what he has done. He has total trust on the Guru's word. So he goes back to the Guru and says, "I trust you. You would never have uttered a word without a reason. I may not know it, but I trust in you totally. So I have taken the decision based on your comments and I have done it. It's all done. No looking back. There's no way to look back at all. So I just pray to you and pray that everything goes well." Well, there is a 1 or 2 week of fight and ongoing arguments all around the village for what he has done, until such time that a cyclone strikes the whole village, the whole area. Such a bad cyclone that all the crops that were getting ready for harvest are fully destroyed in all other lands. After the cyclone, what happens? The water stays. The water stays on the land, and it further destroys and decays the fully grown crops. But in this particular land where this farmer had cut the stacks up, the roots only were there. So the roots got enough water and they started putting forth fresh, yes, fresh crop. Slightly delayed, but he had a double success. He had a double harvest. What was the missing point here? Um, the farmer and the other farmers around as stakeholders had understood their particular job or requirement very well and have been doing it in a particular routine pattern. Set the goal is straight, and they have been trying to reach it. What was missing in this was the vision, a bigger picture of something catastrophic that could go wrong, which was the external input that was given by the guru. So, this external input, we can call it a SWOT analysis in a very simple way: strength, opportunities, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, this is something that we miss to understand sometimes in our goal. Yeah. So, there is a need for us to stop in between, not necessarily break the whole routine, but stop in between so we are able to gauge and take a bigger picture view and have the vision which the farmers apparently lacked. Another point to look at this, observe here, is that this man has been polite. The farmer has been polite, but he answered, he actioned on certain comments. The landlord, he is responsible to pay rent. The family, he is responsible to take care of. Those were his internal responsibilities that he must answer and he must have an action plan for, which he did before making a switching the gear. Yeah, he did it. And some of the comments, interesting, engaging, but not needed in this percent. So he was able to differentiate between the stakeholders where you are responsible to hand over certain things, do certain things, versus the stakeholders that might have some comments to give you, inputs to give you, but you cannot necessarily action. So one very important learning we will take away today is to just take a break from the goal and once in a while take that big picture vision. The disruption not necessarily to stop, but to grow better. So looking at the bigger picture. And also, whenever we disrupt, we're changing course. Stakeholders, how do we move along with them? Which ones do we handle? Which ones do we have to ignore? I hope you found this very useful. Thank you very much. Bye bye.